Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome to the channel, man. Came across this video saying Pooh Shiesty's reaction of receiving life in prison. I didn't even know he even got life in prison, so this is a shocker to me. Free Pooh Shiesty, man. Hope he get free. You know, man, we gonna pray for him, but let's check this video out, man. See what he talking about.
Now, Pooh Shiesty is about to be locked up for a very long time. Let's get into his reaction at his court hearing, as well as information about his cases. You need to hear this information, so let's get into it. Back on June 8th, Pooh Shiesty turned himself into jail after law enforcement put out a warrant for his arrest for an incident at the King of Diamonds nightclub. Shiesty was seen using a firearm towards a security guard. Things got very concerning as we saw then Pooh Shiesty show up to his bail hearing wearing something that you don't typically see too often. When showing up to the bail hearing, we see Shiesty wearing what's called a turtle suit. Now typically when in jail, if you're having a very hard time while on the inside, saying things about your own life, crying, things in that nature, law enforcement will actually take your clothes and give you the suit to wear instead.
When wearing this suit,
you cannot do any harm with it as you can with normal clothing inside of your jail cell. So it's a very sensitive subject, obviously, but many people are claiming that Pooh Shiesty has been very nervous about his court cases, as in Florida, they actually have what's called a 10-20 life rule. Basically, you will be put into prison for 10 years if you pull out a firearm. You'll be sentenced to 20 years if you pull out the firearm and use it, and 25 to life in prison if somebody is affected by the firearm that you pulled out and used. Now this is very concerning, as a witness saw Shiesty pull out a firearm and use it towards a security guard who was affected by the situation. Now this could mean that Shiesty will be receiving 25 years in prison just for this one court case. Now that can explain why he is wearing the turtle suit, as he could have been dealing with it very badly in jail. Now this isn't even the only case that Shiesty's even involved in right now either. Currently, Shiesty's most serious case right now is a previous case from last year. Now this will be sealing the deal on his freedom. Law enforcement has actually announced that they can now seal the deal on Shiesty due to some very convincing evidence. A little backstory on this, Pooh Shiesty, he went to go meet two individuals inside of a parking lot. Shiesty arrives driving a bright green McLaren sports car to the parking lot.
So that's two different incidents?
When Shiesty and his boys arrived, they ended up hopping out of their cars to meet the two men. They were originally supposed to buy some high-end sneakers, as well as some narcotics for
all that money you want to go out killing
folks. Performing at. When the transaction was about to go down, Shiesty ended up changing his mind on paying for this normally and turned it into a robbery. That's when Shiesty pulls out of a firearm out of his back pocket, starts using it towards the two men that are selling the items. The firearm ends up affecting one of the individuals in the hip and the other one in the backside. Shiesty then hops back into his all-green McLaren with all of the goods. But while trying to grab the sneakers and narcotics, also trying to make a getaway, Shiesty didn't notice that a Louis Vuitton bag ends up falling out of his vehicle when exiting the parking lot. In this Louis Vuitton bag, there was $40,912, all in cash. And well, you're not gonna believe this, but Pooh Shiesty uploaded several photos to his Instagram doing the money thing where he stretches it across his arm. Well, the feds actually downloaded one of his Instagram photos, zoomed in on it, and was able to match the serial number with one of the bills on an Instagram photo to one of the bills in the stack of 40 grand inside of the Louis Vuitton bag that was left behind at the scene. Now why this is such severe evidence is because during the meetup, Shiesty was actually wearing one of those masks around his face, and well, you couldn't really tell exactly who it was. But with Shiesty having the money in his possession on the Instagram photo, as well as it falling out of his car that he rented, well, that's all the evidence you need. And this is without mentioning that Shiesty even posted photos of him flexing the all-green McLaren as well. Shiesty will be receiving a maximum of 20 years in prison for the conspiracy to possess firearms during a robbery. Now, this isn't the only thing putting Shiesty behind bars either. When looking at the most recent arrest of Shiesty, it states that Shiesty was performing at a club called King of Diamonds. When performing, in the crowd, somebody knocked a stack of cash that was hanging out of the back of Shiesty's jeans. The crowd started going crazy. Having all that money out them tight jeans. That a ton of cash just plopped onto the floor, so everybody started trying to grab at the cash. Shiesty then got very, very angry. He ended up getting on the floor with the crowd, trying to grab his own money, but it was too late. Shiesty then hopped back onto stage to get an overview of the crowd, to see if he can catch a glimpse of somebody holding a stack of money. That way he can go deal with it and most likely try to get it back. During the entire situation, Shiesty, he was very, very angry.
You'll be alright. That little money ain't gonna hurt you, big dog.
While on stage. That's actually where his firearm was located. That's when a security guard of the club ended up putting his hand on Shiesty's hand and was seen nodding his head at Shiesty, basically telling him, no, trust me, you do not want to do that. That's when Shiesty then walked off of the stage. He was seen then eventually taking it out of his waistband for sure this time and using it behind doors. A witness then claims that after using the firearm that Shiesty pulled out of his waistband, he ended up using it in the direction of a security guard. After using it, Shiesty then handed the firearm over to another person who was most likely a close friend of his. That man dashed the scene to probably hide the firearm or something in that nature. That individual was never seen again after that. Meanwhile, inside of the club, people were going insane. The entire club was going crazy. People were flipping over tables, trying to duck for cover. Nobody knew what was going on. All it was just a small room with no lights on, and a firearm was being used out front. A few hours then went by. Shiesty ends up going on his own Instagram account to say this, and I quote, "False allegations, nothing never been took from me." As Shiesty was trending on social media, people saying that people hit a lick on him and robbed him for $40,000 cash. Now, these court cases are very serious, and that could explain why Shiesty went to the court hearing wearing a turtle suit. But I guess Shiesty was telling the truth when he said he has his own fire and he doesn't need security in the club. There you guys have it, Shiesty's reaction of him being in his court hearing wearing a turtle suit, as well as an explanation on his court cases. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new. It has been District Trending, and I'm out.
Yo, look, y'all. We just gonna say free Pooh Shiesty. Hopefully he get through his situation, because it's looking bad from what the dude talking about. I don't know, man. Free Pooh Shiesty, man. Like, subscribe, comment, tell me what y'all think. We out.